been a while. Didn't intend on taking this long to get this video done and out, but as usual life gets in the way. A little bit backwards, parts already made as you can see. I did film an intro which had just a little bit of talking about the considerations for stock and a few other bits and bobs, but my phone decided to delete that when it ran out of battery, which was handy. I've still got the footage of, you know, the cam work, all the machining. I'm probably just going to do a bit of a fast forward on all the cam work. I've got another project which I think would be better off explaining some of the feeds and speeds and the sort of little intricacies in doing cam work for this type of stuff on a PrintNC. If I put it all in this one, it's just going to end up being 50 minutes of me rambling and chatting a load of bollocks for no reason. But as you can see, parts come out pretty damn good. Decent shiny finish. Engravings come out nice. Lovely mirror side finish. Now my X ball screw is all over the place at the moment, so when I've indicated it back in on the second side, it's got a tiny step there on that one. All the others absolutely fine. It's pretty much all on dimension. Or as good as needed anyway. So yeah, there's a quick look over of it. So yeah, like I was saying, I think I'll just do a few key points in the cam section. The other project I've got coming up is related to this. It's doing the engine mounts. So I'm waiting for another 3D scanner to turn up at the moment. So I'm going to be using that when it arrives. But as soon as that's here, I'll get to work on doing that. So for now, I'll jump over into Fusion and get going. So over here in Fusion, I'm not going to spend all that long on this. I'm going to try to speed run it as best as possible. Now in the original model, I didn't have these cutouts here. I've put those in purely just to be awkward. It doesn't need to be a solid slab. This isn't really a structural part, it's just to hold the seals. So drop a little bit of weight and it gives a good opportunity to do another setup. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Right, so order of operations on this. I'm not going to cut these out from the top, purely because I'm using the tape and glue method and I want as much surface possible when I flip the part. Need a good bit of surface there to hold it down, because we've got quite a lot of roughing to do out of the underside. So order of operations, we're going to do all these bores, all of them, and then we're going to have a machining boundary around the outside for a 3D adaptive. I haven't got air blast or any cooling, so slotting can be a little bit awkward. So to start off with, we're going to do a sketch just on the bottom here. Going to project that outline. Now that we've got that, want to offset that, 10mm. That gives us our boundary. Turn off the projected geometries from the sketch just to tidy it up a bit. We'll run our bores here. Now, because of the way the bore operation works, it sticks to obviously the outside. Now we've got a 1/4 inch tool, and from memory that's 16.5 there. So as the sort of toolpath goes round, it's going to leave a little bit sticking up in the middle, which then becomes an issue when we go down to do those inner ones. Have a little bit sticking up, end up having a crash, which we don't want. So stock to leave, we'll just add 2mm there. Select a single flute. Now that will go through and do those. Now we want to duplicate that. Everything the same. And we just remove that stock to leave. Now final couple of operations. 2D contour. That's going to be using the 8mm free flute. That is our contour. But obviously we don't want to cut it up the top, so the bottom we select the lowest of model bottom. Roughing passes, we left 0.2 radial, so we'll set a maximum step over of 0.1, 2 of those with a finishing of 0.7. Now obviously that doesn't add up to the 0.2 that we've left, but Fusion actually divides that down so you can get your final. It's all looking good. Now what I like to do is just change a few of these. With these machines not being, you know, as rigid as a decent VMC or anything like that, when the cutting gauges, especially with climb milling, you'll find it will pull the bit in and you can end up with little steps. So to smooth that off a bit, a 4mm radius, 5-degree sweep angle, move this up a little bit. Right, I like to set a lead in position. Let's go up there. Let's give that a little bit more of a lead in distance. So with it like that, you can see it comes down, it starts leading in at that 5-degree angle. It's going to engage just down there. It's going to come in. Perfect. Right. Now for this backside setup, we've got a couple of things to watch out for. So I'm going to be probing in off of this inner sort of bore here as our work 0. The only issue we've got with that is when we're creating a setup, we've got stock box, so that gives you points around the stock sort of box there. We've got model box point, which gives us our sort of positions around there. And we've got selected point. Now we can select in off the center there, but that sets our origin a little bit low. So the way we're going to get around that is we're going to create another sketch. We'll turn that one off now. So we're going to go, that's the sort of highest point here. So we want that the same amount as the additional stock we had on the bottom of the other setup, which is 3.15. What we can do then, create a sketch based off that, project that geometry, be either of those because they're concentric, center point will be the same. Like so. Now we can go back into the manufacture tab, create a setup from the previous stock, and now we can do the origin from there, and again we'll just set our X as along there like we did before. And you can see now got the X and Y, but we've also got the center point being at the very top of there. So to indicate this in, I've got a shoulder machined on a bit of plate here, so I can butt that side up against it to get our X running true, indicating off this with the probe. That should be spot on. Right, just run it through simulation, had a look over it. Everything looks pretty much good to go to me. So we've got the adaptive pocket just to take off the axial stock to leave there. Contour comes in, runs around those at a 13mm offset. That comes in, goes through those, and the chamfer. So get loaded up on machine and get it cutting. So got the selection of stuff here. Big old slab of 6082. Now, before I put anything down, I like to check the edges. Quite often it gets beaten up in postage. You can see the corner there. So if anything's sticking up, it just means you haven't got the best adhesion with the tape. So that side looks the best. Now always start off a little bit of methylated spirit. That's a bit too much. Alright, give that a little bit of clean up. It's just a plate I've been using quite a lot lately to save tearing up the MDF. Not that it matters too much. Now, a few people have asked me recently about the tape, so this is just standard blue tape. It's not the 3M stuff. This stuff I think is £4 or something from Toolstation. I found that does the job. motor bond, I prefer that to just using straight up super glue, mostly because I'm impatient. So this plate's got a shoulder. It's machined on both sides when I'm squaring stuff up. Find the end of the tape. Right, there we go. Now, obviously when you're doing this you want to get it as straight as possible, no wrinkles or anything. Try not to overlap it, otherwise it gets a bit inaccurate when you're doing your second operation. So, all that done, we'll just square that up on that shoulder. Now that's machined true to the gantry. Right. So I usually try getting this on pretty uniform, but I've had to cut that pretty far open now. So hit or miss whether it's actually uniform or not. Couple of blobs, not too bad. Get some activator on there. I try to float it about a bit before it sets. Get a bit of pressure on there. And usually whilst I'm applying some pressure, I just cut off the excess. And usually stick myself to everything else. Got the probe. Now what I usually like doing, just marking up a quick temporary centre point on it. Makes it a bit easier when I'm trying to line up a rough area for the probe start sequence. So I'll go and move that over now. So that's the workpiece indicated in, everything touched off. Now, I get asked on every video what this is. This is a collet fan by Logan on the PrintNC Discord. I'll leave a link in the description for that, because I get plenty of people asking. If I forget, which I probably will, If you just Google PrintNC mods, the mods page on the wiki has it on there. I'll try to remember. No guarantees. Right, quarter. Now, this isn't a recommended practice. This one is only a, I believe, 25 or 26 mil flute, which isn't the best. But I'm a professional idiot. There we go. Oh, forgot. I'm an idiot. This one has a facing operation. It's not going straight to the good stuff. So, what we actually want is a BAP. I'll run this one without the fan so you can see what's going on. Don't have to worry too much about chip recutting on this one. Righty, go and hit the go button, it will touch off, and away it goes. Now, something I forgot to do in the cam. In here, obviously, I need to come through there to indicate once it's flipped. I forgot in the cam to go right down, so at the moment it's going to model bottom. That bit there, I should have done an additional operation, just set it to stock bottom. I can go through and do that afterwards, no biggie. Right, getting back to it, the camera died, so I had to set it up off camera. Haven't really missed much, just flipping it over, butting it up against the shoulder there, tape and glue, same old. Gonna probe the inside here. Obviously that's the work 0 we set up. Because this shoulder is parallel with the gantry, we won't need to probe for rotation. So I'll go and probe that quick. Touch off, run the M6 T99 to set the tool offset there. Now with all that sorted, my X ball screw has quite a few issues at the moment. I'm fully expecting the probing to be a little bit off when it comes to doing the contours and whatnot. But we'll see. Just going to jog across, touch off. All the offsets done there. Going to load up the 1/4" single flute. Fingers crossed this all lines up as best as possible.